Hey Rick,
Hey Megan, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing? You look like you've gotten out in the sun. You've got a tan. Where were you?
Well, I spent some time in the vineyards of Napa this past few days. Imagine that.
Very
So,
nice.
as you well know, my daughter got married on Friday in Napa, and it
Congratulations.
was a vineyard wedding and also a vineyard rehearsal dinner. So it was just terrific all the way. I mean, it's just fantastic. So,
I am so glad. And the
couldn't be
weather was
happier.
perfect. And the
That was, yeah, it was like in the 70s all day long, sunny, beautiful, just
that's the
amazing.
reason why it's so expensive to be here, Rick, because
Oh
it
my
is
gosh,
usually
yes.
just stunning, right?
Yeah, it couldn't have been a better 4 days up there, and I'm so happy for Kristen and Nick, of course. And yeah, it's amazing, when your kids start getting married.
I don't
I'm so
know,
used to,
and I'm not in a hurry. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right. Well, they've been together for 7 years,
Oh,
so they didn't
wow.
exactly rush into it. And
Right?
but it's weird with her having a last name now. It's like, okay, it's a weird feeling. Her last name is not Dennis anymore.
No.
It's like, okay, but
I
I'm super happy and love Nick and his family, and I couldn't be happier.
You are a blessed man in many
I
ways.
am,
So
I am,
congratulations
I
to
am, I am.
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate
And
that.
while you were gone, we had a
Hmm.
bit of a situation here.
Always when I'm gone.
I know. Oh my gosh. So while we
Yeah.
were gone,
Hmm.
while you were gone, we were about to close an escrow. You got it all wrapped up for us, and we were just
Yeah.
waiting for the HOA to give us
Hmm.
one more piece of paper, and lo and behold, on their one piece of paper, they were showing some serious insurance deficits, some problems. They were not
Just a
insured.
bit.
Oh yeah, just a bit. So tell us, like, what in the hell is going on that these homeowners associations don't have enough insurance coverage?
Yeah, that's a great question. So let's cover a couple of things with respect to insurance for condos. With every condominium, you have two types of insurance. You have the homeowner's insurance, which is what the buyer has, and
Mm,
that's known as walls in coverage. And so, what I mean by that is the insurance that the home buyer has covers everything inside the walls, their personal belongings, their appliances, the internal workings of the home.
hmm
And then you have a blanket policy with the association,
hmm
because the association is responsible for everything on the outside of the house. In other words, the buildings and the grounds and so on.
hmm
And so, in the event of a loss on a building, the homeowner insurance covers that loss. So,
hmm
for example, if there was a fire and the outside of the building was damaged, the
mm.
homeowner's insurance for the association would cover that building or cover that loss. It really has not been an issue whatsoever with respect to coverages, but let's look at some history behind this and the reasons why and why it has
Mm.
changed. If you go back, and I believe that was what, a couple of years ago, remember that big building, that big condo complex that collapsed in Florida? The whole thing just
Oh,
collapsed.
yes. Hmm.
Well, that of course got the attention of Freddie and Fannie, and as we know, Freddie and Fannie write the rule book on home loans and how things are going
Mm.
to go. And so they've decided that, well, in that particular instance, which by the way, the situation in Florida doesn't apply to anything here in Southern California. There's
Mm.
not one that would apply to that situation, but they have a blanket policy or a blanket guideline for every association nationwide. And so in this situation, I think there's 300 units. I can't recall how many buildings that is.
Hmm.
So the actual association has enough coverage to, if the building that our buyer is buying burned to the ground, the
Mm.
insurance company, there's enough coverage to rebuild that building.
Hmm.
However, because of that situation in Florida where the complete building collapsed,
Mm.
Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac now want coverage for all of the buildings. So assuming that
Mm.
every building in the entire neighborhood burned down, they want
At the
coverage
same
for
time, yeah.
it all at the same time, right? They
Right.
want coverage to cover all of that. Okay,
Hmm.
fine. Well, I guess you could do that as a practical matter. However, in the state of California, you cannot get enough coverage. There's no insurance company that will write a policy to have that much coverage.
Right.
And so for that reason, the association was quote unquote underinsured according to Freddie Fannie guidelines. Now that does not mean the property was not insured or does not ample insurance. It's
Right.
just not covering what Freddie Fannie want that to be now. Big
Well,
problem.
that is a problem. I mean, what do
Yeah.
you, I mean, I know that you were able to salvage the
Mhm.
situation by changing the financing.
We did.
So thank you. But I wonder what the solution is for that. That, I mean, it makes sense though. It's like if you have one insurance company
Mhm.
that's insuring the whole complex and there's 20 buildings and they burn down, I mean,
Mhm.
that's like really bad for the insurance company. So I guess maybe they'll have to start splitting things up and having different insurance companies, even in the same
I don't
HOA.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, gosh, I'm not an insurance agent or an expert there at all, but that would make sense, right? I'm not sure they could write it that way, but that seems like that'd be a workable solution.
Mhm, mhm.
But in
So
this
if
case,
if a realtor's
mhm,
listing a property, a condo or a townhome or what
mhm,
have you, in
mhm,
an HOA, knowing that this kind of changes on the horizon, what should they
mhm.
do to prepare?
Well, I think if I were a listing agent, I would pull that policy with the association to see what their
Hmm.
coverages are to be sure what the term for insurance companies is.
Hmm.
It is what's it called? I've lost my train of thought, but it's total replacement cost is what it
Yeah.
is. So
Hmm.
that does not mean just the building where the homeowner is. The total replacement cost is the entire neighborhood, however
Hmm.
many buildings that would encompass. So
Wow.
you want to be sure that the association insurance policy has enough to cover total loss, total
Hmm.
replacement costs.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, that's good. I know I took a new townhouse listing the other day, and so, I
Mhm.
called right away. I thought, oh, I wonder if I can order the HOA docs now, but they
Good
said
idea.
can't order them until you're in escrow.
I
It's
know.
like,
HOAs. Oh my gosh.
anyway,
Yeah.
so all right, well, that's a good tidbit for today. That's nice to note what we might be facing down the road with
Hmm.
different homeowners associations that are very good HOAs, but
Right.
however, they're just sort of in this purgatory time of trying to figure out what they're going to do about insurance coverage.
Exactly right. It'll get fixed eventually, but right now we have to just be mindful of it.
Amen. Thank you, Rick. Thank you
Awesome.
for putting that back together for my sweet clients and their first property together. And we'll make it so that they won't even remember that this even happened and they can live
Exactly.
happily ever after.
Always the plan for sure.
All right, Rick, have a good day.
Awesome. Thanks, Megan. You as well. Appreciate
Bye.
you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.